Over the years, Steve Dangle has built a reputation for many things. An enthusiastic cheerleader, an emotional train wreck at times, possibly a young man who still lives in his parents' basement. But he wants to be known for more than that. Today, Steve Dangle explains why he has an acute hockey mind.
What's something Don Cherry always does on Coach's Corner? Wears crazy suits, frequent yelling and mispronunciation of names, and bringing up old footage of times he was right about something. You know what? I'm going to do that right now because I was right about something. Let's go all the way back in time to November 18th, 2016. And there are two teams in particular I've seen lots of people say are already cooked, and I don't get it. One is the New York Islanders, and two, the Calgary Flames. Yes, the Islanders are last in the East right now. Yes, they haven't won a game on the road yet, but let's not pretend like this team doesn't have John Tavares. Will they make the playoffs? I don't know, but they're not dead yet. And the Flames, oh my goodness, the Flames. Johnny Gaudreau has a broken finger. And it wouldn't be the first time in recent memory that the Flames came out of nowhere for an inspiring comeback victory. So no, the Flames are not out of it. The Islanders are not out of it. Nobody's out of it. It's November 18th. Fast forward to today, and would you look at the standings? The Islanders are the second wild card in the East, and the Flames are the top wild card in the West. People were screaming for Johnny Gaudreau to pick it up, and he did. People were screaming about the Flames goaltending crisis, and that improved. Chad Johnson held the fort for most of the year, and Brian Elliott has been great recently. Similarly, John Tavares has been leading the way for the Islanders, as John Tavares does. And instead of that three-goalie circus that the Isles had, they now have Thomas Greiss, who has been incredible. Now, there's still games to be played. The Flames and Isles might climb the standings, or they might drop out. But let this be a reminder that in hockey, sometimes autumn's ugly duckling ends up being spring's beautiful swan. And if you just scream enough things into the camera, eventually you'll be proven right.
Yes, and he was proven right. Listen, it's been a pretty good run, and you don't believe me, you don't believe Steve Dangle, take a look at the standings.
He's got to wear some suits, fancy suits, this guy.
Well, he keeps picking these games right, and maybe he'll get some. So, look, the Islanders, that is a team that Steve Dangle said don't sleep on, and he's dead right. They were dead last in the East, and now there they are in a playoff position. They've been playing great under Doug Weight. How do you explain this meteoric rise for the Islanders, who right now hold a playoff spot?
Look, when Doug Weight got hired, people said they are done. The only guy that didn't was Dangle. Okay. He was the only one that didn't. But the reason was because they were only going to have 7 more home games after he got the job. Well, what have they done? I mean, seriously. They've had an amazing record at home, and they've been solid on the road. Yeah. I mean, a couple of bad losses, but they've bounced back night after night. And when you've got John Tavares, you have a chance to win. Ladd has picked it up. That's been a real important thing for them. But also, Greiss has been a great story. Look, he was a good story last year in the playoffs when they knocked the Panthers off. But this year with, making him the sole #1 guy was, I think, a real strong move for the Islanders. So, look, good on them. I don't see them fading, guys. If the Leafs are going to finish ahead of them, they've got their work cut out for them. They're playing that well right now.
So remember, we're going to know the 16 playoff teams 1 month from now, and you're saying the Islanders are one of those 16
I
teams.
think the way they're playing, this is a team that I thought Tampa Bay would have a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, they were climbing away and, getting within distance.
Here's the problem, Doug. This was last night. Tyler Johnson, Cedric Paquette, and Vlad Namestnikov, all of them lower body injuries, all called day-to-day, but that's a problem.
Well, that's a problem even more so because of what happened on trade deadline day when they were sellers. And all of a sudden they moved Boyle out, they moved Bishop out, and they moved Filppula out. So all of a sudden they're not as deep as they were. So those injuries, if they're serious, and not only to mention the fact that the triplets finally are playing great and they're healthy, and then you lose Johnson. So this really puts their chances in jeopardy. But I'll tell you what, the Leafs and company are going to need some breaks and to catch the Islanders.
So you like the Islanders in, Tampa out, from what you can tell.
And I think the Leafs are, to me, it's going to be the Islanders or the Leafs that are going to make it.
It's going to be a very exciting final month in the National Hockey League. Meanwhile, out west, the Calgary Flames, what a great story. You heard Steve Dangle say everyone left them for dead. That's true. They were miserable. Back in January, they were floating near the bottom of the West. And then they turned things around following this rant after a 5-1 loss to the Canadiens from their head coach, Glenn Gulutzan.
Yeah, we were pathetic. Yeah, it was a pathetic display. No bite back, no kickback. Accept it. Right down. Our top guys didn't do anything, and we need somebody to step up.
All right, and clearly that worked. I mean, he wasn't going freaking out or anything, but the words were pretty strong there. 13-2-1 since those comments made on January 24th following the loss of the Canadiens. They just rolled all over the Canadiens. Yeah, how do you explain this? How do you explain this turnaround for the Flames? 8 straight wins.
He used pathetic as a noun in more ways than anybody could use it. I thought he was terrific. But you know what? I'll tell you what. He's the guy that's responsible for the turnaround for me. This guy has done an amazing coaching job. There's no doubt about it. And he also got Monahan and Goudreau going. You always believed that they would get it going. But I think between he and his general manager, they were able to keep this group together, manage the group, and good on them. Treliving and Gullickson, both for me, have done a great job. And now they've got 3 lines scoring. I mean, Backlund's line carried this team for months to keep them even close. And now they've got 3 lines going. Stone has come in and helped their defense. You hope the injuries aren't too serious. But right now, the Flames look like a team you would not want to play in the first round.
And they're going to make it, it looks like. They could have home ice advantage. Do you think they're going to actually creep into 3rd or 2nd?
I don't see that, but I wouldn't want to play them in the first round. I'll tell you what, Brian Elliott, we saw how good he can be in the playoffs last year with St. Louis when he knocked out the Blackhawks.